How to follow this tutorial. Make sure you know where the tools are. When I do my line art with dip pen, I like to bucket select the outside and then invert so that I can color just inside the character. After you filled in your character, I recommend doing the background next. Just fill it in with some blobs of objects that you would like, basic colors that you think would complement the character, and I do this just for lighting. I put a window in the back because I'd like to do backlighting, and then blur it. And then I like to go over the corners with a darker gray. Places like hair joints, the neck and back hair, and the top of the hair to add some variation when it comes to shading. And some depth too, you know? Then I put a dark gray blur to the center to show where the darkest points are in lighting. Using hard light at 50% in the blend mode layers, I color in my base colors clipped to the gray, over the multiply and everything else. I like that it adds color variation and some uniform shading. When coloring in with the felt tip pen, I like to go around the edges with a thinner line and then increase the brush size so that I can scribble all in. After you are done coloring in your character, color the line art. I couldn't decide what color to use, but I eventually settled on brown. I then make a new layer and clip it, and in the multiply layer, I like to fill in and then erase where light would be. Since the light is behind my character, I erase places behind my character, much bigger by the window and smaller by parts that are turned around, like the ear. To make the lighting brighter, I like to go over the edges with an overlay color, usually the light color like orange, to give it a brighter look. Once you're happy with your lighting, you're just going to turn it all off, and we're going to do the fun part, which is the painting part. If you turn felt tip pen down by like 10%, it makes this really good painted effect from far away. When up close, it really doesn't look too much like brush strokes. It has this natural hair texture to it that I really like. It's also super simple to do. This is just the longest part. When it comes to places like the eyes, I might sometimes switch to an airbrush or places that might need some darker shades faster. But remember, we're not really doing most of our shading here. We're just giving it some shaded variation so that this could almost look like something in neutral or without any lighting at all. When When I'm about halfway through, I like to stop and add back in my background to see if the character matches well with the background, if I'm using the right colors for shading, so on and so forth. When rendering hair or fur, I really treat them all the same, where I just pick the color of the line art, scribble that over a bit, and then pick up that faded color and then scribble over it more. Here you can start to see some of my brush strokes, and I don't really mind them. I think they add to the art. If you want more cleaner looks, you can go over with an airbrush, like I did. Here, I merged everything together and I'm working on backlighting, creating a brighter light in the back and a darker room. This part moves pretty fast in the speed paint, so I recommend pausing and going back if you need to. While it might not work for you, I love putting so much additional light that it almost blurs out the character. And I usually pick the color from the background that was used for the lighting, or wherever the light source is. If your light source isn't present, you can choose any color. For nighttime scenes, cooler tones work. For daytime scenes, warmer tones work. Over everything, I like to color pick with the dip pen and add little details like hair shine, hair strands. Here I don't go too crazy, but it helps pull the character out. I saw a color trick where if you invert a layer and then set it to hard mix and then merge it to a normal layer, you can use it as a way to color your art super vividly. You just blur it a little and then set it to color and opacity to 50, and I thought it looked beautiful, and it really helps kind of complement your brush strokes without losing too much detail, while giving way more colors. Right here at the end, I like to pick some of those colors and blend them around, and also use the liquify tool to fix any proportions I might have messed up. Right at the end, I take a dip pen and the brightest color in the scene, and I give the character an outline. This helps pull them one final step away from the background without going too far in it. There's me testing, and I usually multiply, like duplicate the layer and then multiply it to itself to give more vivid colors, but that's not always necessary, especially if you have more differentiated colors. Whereas most of my character in this scene are orange. Well, that was everything. I'm sorry this is my first tutorial, so if it didn't make a lot of sense, but thank you for watching.